If you look at the markets, it's about 7 minutes to go, but markets have corrected off the day. However, Bank Nifty has not corrected that much. So probably just gives you a sense that banks continue to be strong. They are off the day's high, but definitely they have not corrected quite a bit. Ruchit, Jain and K. Subramaniam are our next two guests on the show. Subra, let me start with you. What do you get of this 8600 level? You think it will take a while before we actually take that out? There is selling pressure every time we go towards that level.
Well, Pankaj, I think these are all mere levels, which we discussed. But I mean, the events have been so big that we've seen the levels getting broken on the downside as well as on the upside. So for the time being, I think what is very clear is that the volatility which had shot up, I think the last 2-3 days, that is sort of subsiding now, and probably after all these events we will have some sort of consolidation. But broadly, the downside should be around this 8400, 8450, and the upside, the near term, yes, 8650 probably is a near term cap. But as events pan out the way they are, and the banking counters looking quite exciting, I think we could be heading for some exciting expiry this time around.
Right. Ruchit, what will be your view on Nifty and Bank Nifty?
Good afternoon, Pankaj. Pankaj, on Nifty front, probably we have completed this corrective move around yesterday's low when with the gap down opening. Nifty opened around the 200 days of moving average.
Ruchit,
now, although
Ruchit, can you just start again? Ruchit, can you just start again? We had an issue with the link at the start.
Yeah, Pankaj, yesterday's opening, if we see, then it was exactly around the 200 days simple moving average in Nifty, and we have recovered quite a good amount of from those lower levels. So I think here on Bank Nifty has already given a breakout of the falling trendline resistance which has been formed in the last couple of months. Nifty, although that breakout will come when it closes above 8600, but now one thing is quite clear, that the corrective move is now behind us. So definitely the next correction which would come maybe in next 2 to 3 trading sessions would not be more than 250 points from current levels. 8350 to 8400 would be a good support zone wherein buying should be done around those levels. And I think looking at the Bank Nifty and the momentum which we had seen in last couple of trading sessions, I think going ahead next week probably we would again resume the uptrend and we would head higher in both the indices.
Right. And Bank Nifty is looking stronger than Nifty now?
Yes, definitely Bank Nifty is looking much stronger. As I said, last 2 months this index on the daily chart, both the indices on the daily chart had from this lower top lower bottom formation. Now today Bank Nifty has given breakout from that lower top lower bottom formation, and that too with a gap up opening. So that's a positive sign. So I think in very near term we would be around the all-time high levels in Bank Nifty. But the thing is that the other sectors other than banking and the metals have not seen good performance, or have not shown that positive momentum in today's session. So probably in Nifty front we may take some more time before the breakout comes of this falling trend line. But Bank Nifty has already given a breakout with a gap up opening. So I think Bank Nifty would head further higher, and all-time highs could be seen probably next week in Bank Nifty.
Right, and all-time high could be seen in Bank Nifty. And how would you play that? Would you go with probably names like SBI and BOB now versus a Yes Bank or a IndusInd that would have been the preference earlier?
I think the outperformance which is there in the recent fall, I think those stocks should be looked at. SBI definitely was one of the stock which had showed a sideways movement, which was a time-wise correction, and today it has already given a breakout. So this positive momentum could be continued in SBI. One of the stock which is Axis Bank, which had seen decent correction in last couple of months. Now in this correction, this stock has completed a 5-wave impulsive down move. So I think a corrective up move which would retrace about 38.2% to 50% of this recent fall should be seen. So SBI and Axis Bank are the two stocks from the large cap space which I think would head higher even from current levels.
Right. So Rob, would you agree SBI, Axis Bank would be among your top picks as well?
Yeah, I think SBI and probably also add a Bank of Baroda and maybe a couple of other banks like Karnataka Bank and Federal Bank. Karnataka Bank I think also came out with a good set of numbers. So I think that could be heading much higher, and also the new generation bank, something like an IDFC Bank, which I think has a potential with all these announcements of scaling up their operations. And I think that is one interesting counter which I would be keeping an eye on. And barring that, of course, the PSU counters offer tremendous trading opportunities. PNB in particular stands out. Now I think it has broken past 145, so I think that could be a decent trading bet in the near term.
Right. We just have about a minute and a half there for closing. Just quickly, Ruchit, any top picks apart from the banking space?
One of the mid-cap space that we are looking at is Max Financial Services. This stock probably after recent consolidation has given a breakout in today's session. Last 3 trading sessions, the stock has been showing good volumes when the prices are moving higher post-opening. So I think from next 2 to 3 days or 1 week points of view, one can look to buy Max Financial Services at current levels, expecting a target of around 620.
Max Financial Services. So I'll just come back to you, gentlemen. Idea is up 0.6. Adani Ports is up about 4%. A minute to go for closing. Yes Bank is up 5% now. Cipla is up 8%. So despite the markets correcting, actually Cipla did not see any correction. ONGC is up 1.8. NTPC is up 0.5. Infosys is down 2%. And Tech Mahindra is up close to 2%, 443. Aurobindo 4% higher, 791. Bharti Airtel is up close to 3%. HDFC Bank is up 2.5%. And Kotak Bank is down about 0.13. Lupin results came out yesterday. Numbers were not that great, and maybe that's why you're seeing this reaction, 2% decline. Ambuja Cement 0.0, absolutely flat actually. Z Entertainment, no major change. BPCL up 0.59 and HCL Tech up about 1%. Bharti Infratel 6.6% higher, 386. Tata Motors DVR 0.68. GAIL up 0.5%. Asian Paints down 4%, 1010. Wipro is down 0.6 and IndusInd Bank is up about 1% or so. M&M is down 1.5%. Asian Paints is down 4%. TCS is down about 1%. HUL is down about 1.2%. Maruti is down 1.5%. Grasim is up about 2%. Hero MotoCorp is down 3%. Remember, it was one of the top losers yesterday as well. Axis ACC is up 0.5%. Ultratech Cement is up close to 2%. Bajaj Auto is down close to 2%, 2,715. Eicher Motors is down close to 2%. Tata Steel 9% move, 436 for Tata Steel. 10 million shares traded, 37.38 rupees as far as Tata Steel is concerned. What a move this name has had since morning. It's looked very strong and continues to be the case. Bank of Baroda up about 9%, 165, 166 for Bank of Baroda. 19 odd million shares traded for this name. Again, a very strong move. SBI Hindalco would be also among the top gainers. Hindalco on your screen is up close to 8.5%, 176. I think it's a new high as far as Hindalco is concerned on a yearly basis. SBI is up close to 8%, 281. 8% higher for SBI, and it's still just the 4th largest gainer. It's not even the first one. Cipla up 8%, Bharti Infratel up 6%, Yes Bank up 5%, Power Grid up 5%, and the list can just go on and on. Subra, what do you do with a stock like Cipla? 567. Very good set of numbers, but it has some strength versus the market as well.
Well, Pankaj, I think yeah, see, we have still stellar rise, but closer to levels of 580. Probably, I would think it will pause, and we could do some sort of profit taking, because I think we need some fresh trigger for it to go past that level. So I think 580 should be the near-term target for Cipla.
Right, Ruchit, what would you do with Cipla?
Well, the recent correction has retraced more than 61.8%, and today's gap up opening has been followed by a good momentum with good volumes. So I think this up move could still further higher towards 585, 590. And but I don't think that this would be an impulsive up move, and the recent high is 615, 620 would be crossed very easily. So it would be in a trading range of 590 to 540. If you get the stock towards lower end of the range, about 540, then at 540, 550 range, then I think that should be used as a good buying opportunity.
Right, 540, 560 should be used as a good buying opportunity. Say if somebody buys around 550, 545, what should be the stop and the targets?
So one can keep a stop loss below 511 on the stock. The first target would be around 590 for this.
594. Aurobindo Pharma, how would you look at that, Ruchit? That was also quite strong today.
Yes, but expecting a lot of volatility in this, because if we observe last 3-4 trading sessions, the stock has already given a run up from 680, which was yesterday to 800 levels, and even this recent rising trend line which was there, that was quite easily breached in since last 2 to 3 trading sessions. So it's very difficult to take a trade from current levels, because your stop losses would be too far, and the volatility definitely would be quite higher in this stock. So if anyone is holding the stock, there is no still trend reversal signs that the that the stock would go much below the recent lows of 680 or 700 levels. So one can continue to hold the stock if anyone has already bought it, but won't recommend for fresh buying since the risk reward won't be much favorable.
Right. Subra, what do you do with Tata Steel?
So Pankaj, I think it's given a very strong breakout. I mean 430, 35, this was the level where we saw some sort of resistance. Now it's cleared that level also. So I think near term I would expect that we could see level, I mean probably heading for levels of maybe 465. So I think with this breakout, and it has been trading above that level or around about that level today. So I think we could see some more upside coming about.
Right. As far as Hindalco is concerned, similar, a very strong breakout.
Well, it's been a stellar performer along with I think Hindustan Zinc. I think, but Hindalco broadly has outperformed the entire metal space. So I think near term 180. I would probably maybe yeah, it's almost approaching 180. So 180, 185 would be the near term target. I think the results are also around the corner. So probably maybe at that level we should pause. Yeah, probably we could see some pause at those levels. But yes, reasonably one could expect that any correction is a buying opportunity.
Right. Ruchit, Hindalco and Tata Steel, how would you look at them? Let's start with Hindalco.
I think it's been last 4 to 5 months. I think this high top high bottom structure is still getting continued, and recently after 2 weeks of consolidation phase, the stock has again moved, again has resumed its uptrend. So it's quite a positive sign that when the correction has come in the stock, it was a time wise correction rather than a price correction, and again the stock has now resumed the uptrend, and when the stock is moving higher, the volumes are also quite good. So I think the stock, there's no negative sign in the stock so far. 185, 186 could be seen probably in short term in Hindalco. So one can continue to trade on with positive bias in Hindalco even from current levels.
Right. And Tata Steel?
Tata Steel, similarly last 5-6 months, even this stock has been forming this high top high bottom structure. But one thing is that if we observe the monthly charts and if we draw the falling trend line resistance on the monthly charts, which is definitely a long term chart, then the resistance would come somewhere around 445, between 445 to 450, which is quite close to current levels. So we have some sort of resistance around 445 to 450, although there is no reversal sign yet, but I think it needs to cross above 445, 450 resistance range for continuation of this uptrend. So won't recommend it to buy at current levels, but if anyone is already holding the stock, see whether the stock, if it resists around 445, between 445 to 450, then look to book profits over there.
How would you look at Infosys? It's just not participating into the rally.
In fact, most of the IT stocks, if we see, then this has been, the entire sector has been trading in a falling channel. Even the Nifty IT index has been trading in a falling channel. So unless there is any signs of trend reversal come in this IT as well as some of the pharma names, one should not do any kind of bottom fishing in these names. Just because the markets have bounced back in yesterday's session from the lower levels, it doesn't mean that each and every stock or each and every sector will participate in the next up move. So probably yes, it should not be that one should look to buy at the bottom. It may happen that 5 to 6% or 8% of the bottom would get missed. But unless we get any trend reversal signs, I would still prefer to stay away from the names such as Infosys or TCS.
Subra, Infosys?
Well, it's a bellwether stock, very difficult to ignore, but I am still drawn towards the long-term charts of all these companies. In fact, if I would draw a parallel of something like a pharma, I mean Sun Pharma, Lupin, they have all bounced off from very significant levels, and I think Infy is also approaching more or less those levels. I think 920 by 930, I think on the long-term charts look decent. So my sense is that one has to be a bit patient, but I think these are all real good levels where one could possibly keep adding, probably do some accumulation. So in terms of preference, probably maybe Infosys, or maybe even a counter like Wipro and maybe an STL Tech. I think this would be the preferred counters. Probably near term some pain could be there with all this nervousness around the possible US policy coming out for all the IT companies, which could affect IT companies. But I don't think one should read too much into it. So one could probably take this opportunity as some sort of a buying opportunity which presents itself, and one could do some decent accumulation.
Right. Ruchit, how would you look at Hero MotoCorp? A good correction of more than 20% from the highs.
The prices have shown a decent correction, and if you observe the yesterday's low, that's quite crucial, because yesterday low was formed at the 200-day simple moving average, which was around 3040. Also, yesterday's candlestick pattern was somewhat a hammer pattern, although we have not seen any follow-up momentum in today's session. So 3040 would be a crucial level to watch. In case the stock breaches that level, then in short term we may see some more corrective move. So any long positions could be held on as of now till the stock is trading above the 200-day of moving average, which is 3040.
Asian Paints was also down 4%, around the 1,000 rupee mark now.
Yes, similarly, even Asian Paints, we have seen that it's trading around its 200 days simple moving average. But recent correction, after the recent corrective move, we have not seen any kind of trend reversal signs in this. So I think some more correction could be there in the stock. 960, 980 probably could be seen again in the next 3 to 4 days. So probably would wait for some more positive signs to come in before entering the stock again.
Right. Subra, what will be your view on Asian Paints?
Well, I think clearly the valuation is now becoming pretty stretched. I mean, even at the current levels, because too many things were going right for these counters, because they had soft raw material prices, then they had some good bargaining power on the selling side. So I think all that seems to have been factored in, and now we are seeing this correction. But as Ruchit mentioned, I think closer to levels of 950, 975. I think one could seriously look at these counters, and there will be the defensive opportunities which will again support the market when there is some sort of meltdown.
Right. Subra, thank you so much. Ruchit, always a pleasure talking to you. We have the adjusted closing with us, and it would have changed quite materially. So 8,525, up close to about 93. So at a provisioning closing basis, we were up around